Broadcasting live from the Scoured Barrens on the plains of Tarkir. This is Tap Tap Concede. I said plains of Tarkir.
Is that a thing?
Well, I mean, like, it's plains and swamps, I guess. Of Tarkir.
Yeah, we'll go with that. Or like there's the present day plain and the past plain.
So combined to make
plains of Tarkir?
I suppose, even
Sure.
though it's one plane being experienced in two time periods.
It's all very confusing.
We got into some deep epistemological stuff already in this.
So, hey, welcome to Tap Tap Concede. I'm here, I'm Graham, and
I'm here, I'm James.
James is here, and
Cameron is also here.
Cameron's also here, and Paul is over on production. And today we are going to do our Krakens of Packens, and then also talk about our spoiler card for
Hi-yo.
Fate Reforged, which we're really excited about, and then some other people's spoiler cards, which we're also excited about. But first, let's... there. I was wondering where the D20 was. Go for it. What we got? Boom, boom, boom. You knocked it right over.
I knocked
Six.
it over.
You actually
knocked it right down to... you knocked off the top five.
Wow, look at that.
I meant to do that. Damn it, I should have knocked over more and rolled higher.
This is
Fourth edition.
Fourth edition?
Yeah, isn't it?
So, like, magic minus all the good cards.
Yeah, this was at PAX. A gentleman whose username escapes me, even though we've talked to him multiple times, came over and gave us all the opportunity to pick a pack of 4th edition. This is one Kathleen picked. So thank you for that. This is 4th edition, featuring more than 300 different cards. Magic draws its players into a multiverse of infinite possibilities. Some cards are fairly common, some uncommon, and some rare.
Ooh.
Each player must have a deck! Exclamation mark! Each player must have a deck, or you will not be allowed into Fight Club. All right, let's see what dismal stuff we have in 4th edition here.
Come on, Sarah Angel.
Yep.
Iron Star.
Ooh.
It's a single mana artifact. You can pay 1. Gain 1 life for a successfully cast red spell.
Ugh.
Use this effect either when the spell is cast or later in the turn, but only once for each red spell cast.
So this is like bad Dragon's Tooth, which
guess.
was bad.
Yeah.
Red
Yeah.
Staff, which is bad.
Yeah.
It's bad.
Wall of Ice.
Ooh, with the flavor text from Rime of the Ancient Mariner, if I
Oh,
remember.
yeah. It's an 07 for 3. 2 and a green.
That blocks everything all day, every day. Except for if it flies over the wall.
And through the drifts, the snowy cliffs did send a dismal sheen. Nor shapes of men, nor beasts we ken. The ice was all between. That's pretty neat.
Yeah.
Also, it looks like a Tusken Raider for some reason.
Now he's got an ice cream headache.
Neat. Osai Vultures. Osai Vultures. They're a 1/1 for 1 and a white with flying. At the end of any turn in which a creature is put into the graveyard from play, put a carrion counter on Vultures. And then you can remove 2 carrion counters to give the Vultures +1/+1 until the end of turn.
That's interesting.
So you're piling up the bodies, and then you're like, and eat them now.
Yeah. That's kind of neat, but...
Well,
yes.
I know what our...
Yes.
Yep. This is our rare. I should save this.
Yeah, save it.
That is the rare. Oh,
That
goodness.
currently, this is the pick, though.
Yeah. Terror. Good old Terror. 1 and a black. Bury target non-black, non-artifact creature. And bury means kill and can't be regenerated.
Yeah.
This was... Because we were talking on stream about a card from Cons that has a terror effect. Was it from Cons? No. From non-black... Was it in Cube? It was something to non-black, non-artifact creature. Necrotol?
Yeah, Necrotol.
Oh, yeah,
Necrotol
yeah.
Wasn't he in Vintage Masters?
Yes.
Good old Necrotol.
I think so. Yeah. Anyway, we were playing Holiday Cube, and it's when Necrotol enters the battlefield, destroy target non-black, non-artifact creature.
Yeah.
So,
Very good, though.
hey, it's the Iron Root Tree Folk. They're a 3/5 for 4 and a green.
Sure is a common.
Yep.
The mating habits of the mating habits of tree folk, particularly the stalwart ironroot tree folk, are truly absurd. Molasses comes to mind. It's amazing the species can survive at all, given such protracted periods of mate selection, conjugation, and gestation. How long does it take you to study? How long did it take you to study that?
Hey,
Reb, which is to say red elemental blast. It is a single red mana for counter target blue spell or destroy target blue permanent.
Super awesome sideboard card.
Because
Yep.
red hates blue.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's the reason why you play Valks in Miracles.
The Brute is a creature enchantment. I remember this card. 1 and a red. The enchanted creature gets +1/+0, and you can pay red to regenerate it. It's all very weird. Paralyze is an interesting one. It's a single black for a creature enchantment. Target creature does not untap during its controller's untap phase. That player may pay an additional 4 mana during their upkeep to untap it. And tap target creature when paralyzed comes into play. So it does actually tap it down. So that's
Singing Bell Strike.
yeah, that actually seems pretty good.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
a lot cheaper than Singing Bell Strike.
Yeah.
I mean, it's cheaper for them to pay, but
Cheaper to cast.
yeah. Tranquility. Destroy all enchantments.
Sure.
Sorry, it's a sorcery for 2 and a green is Tranquility. And was this is the one that was just reprinted, right?
Yes, but not as Tranquility.
Not as
It
Tranquility.
was reprinted
This
as
is in M15.
but for cheaper.
Yeah,
Wasn't it? It was one. It was one in a green.
Yes.
Destroy all enchantments. Everybody was super upset
Because of Theros.
Because of Theros.
Wasn't it Exile enchantments?
Oh, I can't remember.
I don't even remember what was it. I can't remember what it was called. We had a conversation with Dan about it on the podcast. I can't remember what it was called. That's
It was
annoying.
Yeah, and like his defense of it was really on point.
Yeah.
Life's
like-
something. I'm going to say it was Life's something. Maybe I'm wrong.
I can't remember. We'll figure it out.
We'll find it someday.
I love the art on this card.
Power Leak.
Ooh.
Interesting. Enchantment.
Yep, I love that.
What? 1 and a blue. During the upkeep of target enchantment's controller, Power Leak deals 2 damage to him or her. This is in blue, by the way. That player may pay 1 colorless for each damage he or she wishes to prevent from Power Leak.
Top-down design, ladies and gentlemen.
That is really weird.
It's a blue backstab or whatever the heck. No,
Stab wound.
Stab wound. Yeah. Oh, the art's even similar.
Except they need to have an enchantment. That's so odd.
Yeah. The art is similar too. Actually, I never realized
Yeah.
that.
Iron Claw Orcs, who look like they're from 40K with some sort of weird like banner in the background. I never understood this art.
Yeah.
It really looks like future orcs, but whatever. They're a 2/2 for 1 and a red, so they're red bears.
Sure.
But they cannot be assigned to block any creature with power greater than 1.
Okay.
Whatever. It's
You
fine.
still probably play it.
They're not blocking.
Rattering Bam. It's Battering Ram. It's a 1/1 for 2 artifact creature. Banding when attacking,
Oh boy.
but only when attacking. At the end of combat, destroy all walls blocking Battering Ram.
Okay.
So you just don't block it with
Block
your
walls. Yeah.
It's a 1/1. What are you going to just block it with? Or don't.
Or just take one.
Take one.
yeah.
But it bans. It bans when it attacks. So there you go. You gotta get a bunch of. By itself, it's terrible. Even though it can attack, but by itself, it's terrible. You gotta get a bunch of guys to hold it, and then it's a little better.
Yeah.
Creature Bond. This is 1 and a blue. Enchant creature. If target creature is put into the grave, if enchanted creature is put into the graveyard, creature bond deals damage equal to the creature's toughness to the creature's controller.
It does not seem very good.
And Eternal Warrior is a single red mana creature enchantment. The creature gets vigilance.
It's 1 red to give something a bitch. That's super kind of lame as well. Back to the rare.
And the rare. We've talked about this before when we did the Chronicles 4th edition draft at Jer's birthday about a year ago.
Yep.
This was his bomb.
Yes.
And it legitimately was. This is
won him the games.
What counts as a bomb in this format? It is Aladdin's Ring. It is 8 mana, and for an artifact, and For 8 mana, you can tap it, and Aladdin's Ring deals 4 damage to target creature or player.
Wow.
Oh, you found it.
It's
Back to
back
nature.
to nature.
Back to nature.
nature.
That's what
Destroy
it is.
all enchantments.
And it's an instant. It's one cheaper
instant.
Instants destroy all enchantments. That's right.
So, like, you know, let's look at this in the context of Eugene, of Ugin, right? Both 8 mana, but Aladdin's Ring does 1 more damage.
That's true. But you have to play it for 8 mana and then pay 8 mana and tap it. Okay.
Yeah, just leave it.
So yeah,
8 mana, do 4 damage, 1 more damage than Ugin, strictly.
like really, 4 damage was a lot here, but
I'm still just snap taking terror.
I love that they actually mention the flavor text here, that they actually credit it to the Arabian Nights, specifically the Junior Classics translation.
What?
I just don't know why they mentioned that.
Weird. That's weird. All right.
See, I would be tempted to take Terror too. The problem is that the last time I played this set, there were no creatures worth killing.
Yeah, you're like I don't want to kill these Ironclaw orcs. They're terrible. And then your opponent just never plays anything good, and you're like, oh, well,
I guess they're just gonna. I guess I'm gonna get 1 to death.
get one.
Yeah.
Hey, you
Hope
know
Aladdin's
who?
Ring gets here soon.
You know who could one someone to death and help you cast Aladdin's Ring? Our spoiler card.
Dun dun dun.
Our spoiler card for Fate Reforged, which you probably will have seen by now because we did a spoiler video for it that went up, I guess, the night of the 7th, which is today, when we're recording it.
Casting to you from the past.
From the past. It is the renowned weaponsmith. He is he's a 1/3 for 1 and a blue, which, as Cam was saying when we were talking about this beforehand, you're like, I love it. I already love it because
It could do nothing else and it would be perfect.
well, I'm thinking of recently Omen Speaker.
Yep.
In Theros.
Augur.
Augur of Bolus, of course, is the big one. There's a couple other 1/3 1/3s.
Disciple of Deceit.
Yep. That's for a black and a blue, but still.
Yep.
But the 1/3 for 2 mana in blue is it's a good little body. It's it's going to do something like nice, like not something game breaking, but like you'll get something good out of it. So what the renowned weaponsmith does is so he's got 2 abilities. One is pretty sweet, and the other one, who knows? So the first ability is tap to add 2 colorless to your mana pool, but you can only use that 2 colorless to cast artifacts or activate abilities of artifacts. But that's pretty sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Doesn't come up a lot in Khan's block yet. And it does say artifact. And, for example, Ugin is not an artifact. He's just colorless.
All I'm saying, 4 renowned weaponsmiths, tap to activate Aladdin's Ring.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
Combo.
What... Like, this guy, obviously, the applications of the first ability are not going to be relevant in... As I just said, in like Khan's draft that we're aware of, because the only artifacts are like the banners and the throne and a couple pieces of equipment, and we'll get to that. But where do you see this being relevant? Like, I don't think. Well, actually, I was just thinking. Looking at standard. What little I know of artifacts in standard. Do you think this works with whip? It makes whip cheaper.
Yeah,
You can activate it for black, and this guy.
Yeah.
Are you playing blue
this
in the
guy
whip deck?
doesn't
I
go-
don't know.
Yeah, I don't-
Whip play standard.
Whip is a junk deck.
Oh, okay.
Right? Like you're usually like whipping Rhino. And then you just keep whipping Rhino. Occasionally
Just
you get to
whip the rhino.
Whip that rhino.
Yeah, occasionally you whip Rhino. And sometimes you have to whip Rhino, but
This
usually
is
just hold whip back for Rhino.
what I'm saying is, I don't personally know why this is going to be good, but I feel like it will. I feel like someone else is going to be like, "Oh, okay."
Yeah.
Maybe. I mean, in limited, probably not, right?
No, not in limited.
Yeah.
Like we know that there's no like we've seen enough of the spoilers for Fate Reforged by now that we know that there's still no amazing artifacts.
It would be cool
But,
if
you know,
this
like-
did become good and limited. I would think that'd be kind of neat.
You know,
Although-
a bunch of these guys, like bringing in Scuttling Doom Engine or
There you go.
Soul of New Phyrexia is
Oh.
probably fine.
Yeah.
Right?
On turn 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seems good.
Like this would be, what is it? The Engineer from M15.
Yes, that one.
The guy who gives artifacts convoke.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Ooh, I do not remember the name of that card.
I'm unaware of this. This is bad. Wow, we're
He's
really
a Vedalken.
grasping at M15 today.
Yeah.
Don't know why.
It was so long ago.
We played a lot of it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, we trained for that Team GP.
A lot.
We must
more
have
than
not-
any other set. I played M15 more than any other set, and I have no idea what card this is.
We must have.
That's just
He's a blue
unfortunate.
Vedalken. Vedalken.
Or
Vidalken?
Vidalken.
Vidalken, yeah.
I think it's a Vidalken.
It's
Vidalken?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, okay, neat.
Yeah.
Hopefully Paul will look into that so we don't look like complete idiots.
So you give the artifact convoke,
Yeah.
and then you can maybe use like a 1-drop or something as well.
Yeah.
Get it
Well,
on
I mean,
turn
you
3.
use Thopter.
Yeah.
And I guess.
Actually, wait, yeah. Do like a blue-green thing. Get your elves out on 1.
Yeah.
Then turn 2 this guy.
Yeah.
And then turn 3, you've got 6 mana to use for artifacts.
Yeah. Which brings out Doom Engine.
Turn 3 Doom Engine seems very good.
Yeah.
I mean, at least in kitchen table magic, and this is
Yeah,
what
I
Tap
mean,
Tap
like-
Concede's about. Hey, welcome to the Casual Discussions of Casual Magic.
Yeah.
Get your turn 3 scuttling Doom Engine out there and watch your friends not like you anymore. I like it. I like
yeah.
that.
No, yeah. Because, I mean, like, you can block, even in, like, tabletop, I mean, it blocks Rhino. It kills Rhino.
Yep.
And, I mean,
Chief Engineer.
Chief Engineer.
yeah. And it outraces Magic
Which,
Brothers.
by the way, is a 1/3 for 1 in a blue.
Ha
Right.
So kind of fits.
Sorry, for some reason you're talking about like the Vidalken that cares about artifacts, and I could only think of
yeah.
I can only think of Grand Architect
Yeah,
from
Grand
Scars
Architect.
Block.
Yeah,
and
no,
I'm
that's
like,
what my brain was doing too, right? It's
like-
Vidalken who cares about artifacts. What is it, brain? Master Architect.
Yeah.
Or Grand Architect.
And it's like-
no, it's not brain.
Well, you did that thing where you're like, it's not Grand Architect, it's Grand Arc. No. I just said it wasn't Grand, and then all you can think of is Grand
Yeah.
Architect. Anyway, Chief Engineer. How have they never had a card called Chief Engineer? I would have been sure it
Yeah,
was
I know.
something more involved than that.
But there it is. So maybe those two can be best friends.
Anyway, that ability on this guy seems pretty sweet. I think someone will find some good use for that. His second ability is very interesting for totally different reasons. So you can tap and search your library. You get to go tutor for a card. But specific cards, you get to go looking for a card called either Heart Piercer Bow,
Which is terrible.
which is not a great card. So we saw that in cons. I don't think I've ever seen it cast on either side of the table. Or a card called Vial of Dragonfire. Now this is really sweet flavor here, because this is Fate Reforged is in Tarkir's past. So this guy is going to make either a Heart Piercer Bow that it leads to the future in Cons of
Cons.
Tarkir, or he's going to make the Vial of Dragonfire because the dragons are still around, which will lead to the future in whatever the third set is. Or I guess it is Dragons of Tarkir, right?
I
think they've
so.
said that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. And you can see them both. Like, take a look at what the Heart Piercer bow looks like. You can see this bow in the background of his workshop in the renowned weaponsmith art. And you can see a thing that we're assuming is the Vial of Dragonfire also in there. And it seems pretty exciting. So the Heart Piercer bow is it's an equipment. It costs two,
yeah,
and
two
then
and
one to
one to
equip.
equip, yeah.
And it's anytime the equipped creature attacks, you get to deal 1 damage to a creature the defending player controls. It's not great. It's
No.
not for the weaponsmith being that renowned. This bow is kind of
Yeah, like I would kind of want Ghost Fireblade on that list.
Yes.
That would be kind of cool.
Yes.
yeah. He made Ghost Fireblade or so yeah. Really, we have no idea what Vial of Dragonfire could be. So let's speculate. Cam actually had a really good suggestion.
It's going to be an equipment that gives you fire breathing.
It's probably going to be that.
It's going to be a can of dew, and when you press X to crush it, you get fire breathing.
Press X to crush the can of dew. So yeah, it's that's I think that's our best guess for
Yeah.
what Vial of Dragon.
Yeah.
Like it's
Like
either a fire breathing thing, like it's an equipment like this thing, or it's going to be like a Molotov, like a spell bomb or something, where
Yeah.
you get to it's like an artifact that you pop to deal 2 damage to something. Which that would be better.
Yeah,
I would
actually,
rather that.
Yeah.
But who knows? Obviously, they've already made the card, but they haven't told us what it is. Mm-hmm. So I mean, actually, I should say, all we know is that it's not in Fate Reforged.
Correct.
Technically speaking, we actually don't know that it's in Dragons of Tarkir. We're just assuming.
Yeah.
I think it's a safe assumption.
Yeah,
but technically,
yeah.
just because we're sort of like on the periphery of Wizards doesn't mean that we actually know the future. So
We really don't.
we really don't.
We have no
Yeah.
clue.
Some people like to think that we do, but we really don't. What's up, Paul?
I was just looking at artifacts that are currently in standard that are highly rated.
Okay.
This is the according to the ratings on Gatherer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, and it's there's not a lot. We got your Juggernaut.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So Juggernaut for 2 isn't too bad.
Yeah.
Phyrexian Revoker for free.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Seems
actually,
fine.
that seems...
The Scuttling Doom Engine, Soul, of course. The Soul of New Phyrexia.
Yep.
Both those are 4.
Which can also don't forget the
And all its
renowned weaver
abilities.
renowned weaponsmith can also activate the ability.
Yeah, so the Soul of New Phyrexia for 4 and then 3 for his 2 abilities is actually pretty solid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's about it. The other Ornithopter doesn't get that a lot of advantage.
How is that as highly rated? I'm not gonna
Ornithopter's
worry.
a combo piece.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah.
And the rest of them are you
not
got the
worth
Turmoil's
talking
Crypt,
about.
which doesn't cost anything and stuff. So, yeah, not a lot. These are artifacts that are rated 4 or above in standard right now. So,
Well, I mean, like, then you
not a
splash
lot.
red and you do Shrapnel Blast, right, with your Dark Steel Citadels.
I totally see this guy getting into cubes though,
Oh, yeah.
being like playing like signets for free and stuff like that. Like,
Oh, now I want to make
Oh,
that.
yeah.
Now I want to make an like a red green or red blue artifact standard deck with
Yeah.
like Shrapnel Blast and Soul artifacts and these guys and the chiefs and all the.
Remember this summer during the M15 Pro Tour when there was that one guy playing the Insoul Artifact deck?
Yep.
And
Yeah.
people were so angry
Yeah.
that it was winning.
that was really funny.
Oh, it was delicious.
All right, let's talk about some other cards.
Yeah. So that's our card. Thank you, Wizards, for that. I think it's pretty sweet, actually. And I'm excited to see what better players than or better deck builders than us can do with it. But last time we talked about a bunch of cards from Fate Reforged, and before we talk about different cards from Fate Reforged, I want to briefly mention that we missed something or weren't clear about it or whatever. But Dagatar the Adamant, the Obzon. It's okay, Paul. You don't need to bring this one up. Dagatar the Adamant. We were talking about him. He's the new Obzon leader with the ability to move a +1/+1 counter from target creature to a second target creature. We either didn't mention it or just completely missed it. That of course you can move stuff from your opponent's creatures to your creature.
Yeah.
You could drink their milkshake. You can be like, I take your counter and I put it on my guy. So yeah, that's pretty sweet. Someone very rightly pointed that out in the comments.
Yeah, so you can disable somebody else's lords, basically, the Cycle of Uncommon Lords. Or Common Obzon Lords.
So what?
Let's lead us off with the dragons.
Yeah, what's up with Tarkir? There's dragons, yo.
There's so many dragons. There's a lot of didn't Rosewater post something the other day saying that this is the most dragons they've ever printed in the set?
Good.
I think that's what he said.
That's good. Well, you remember from an episode or two ago of TTC, I was like, they can't just have like a bunch of rare dirtly dragons. They've got to have like some good small ones.
It feels like
common
they
and
have a
uncommon.
cycle at each rarity. Other than they don't have mythic dragons, I don't think. I haven't seen any.
Well, I guess there's an opportunity, but
Yeah. So let's start us off with Kolagon, the Storm's Fury.
Kolagon, the Storm's Fury. What's he do?
So for 3 black red, you get a 4/5 flyer. Seems decent. He's a dragon. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn. So that's kind of interesting. It's not like anything crazy amazing, but it's pretty cool.
Well, I mean, like, if you attack with a bunch of dragons, suddenly they all pack rat each other.
And then he has an ability that I don't think we talked about last week because
Dash.
I don't think it had it been spoiled yet.
No, it totally had.
We
but
just
didn't talk about any creatures with dash.
Yeah, so this guy has dash. So for 3 black red, which is his normal casting cost, dash reads: you may cast the spell for its dash cost. If you do, it gains haste and it's returned from the battlefield to its owner's hand at the beginning of the next end step.
So I think dash is a really sweet ability.
Yes.
And it's really interesting to see on certain cards how they've priced it. Sometimes the dash is more expensive.
Yeah.
Because it's a really cool effect to have more than one. Sometimes it's less expensive because you have the not insignificant disadvantage of that you're not building your board out.
Right.
But this guy, what I like is that this guy's basically a finisher.
Yes.
And it's like either you draw him and you can't kill your opponent right there, so you just cast him normally.
Yeah.
Or you draw him and you're like, oh, I do need this to play him with haste and win that turn.
Yeah, exactly.
His other ability, I guess, we'll have to see just how many dragons there are to see how relevant that is. If you do, like Cam said, get like multiple procs of the ability.
I mean, even this guy procs it once, right? So if you're in a position at the end of the game where you play this guy for his dash cost, and you have a couple other creatures, and he's going to push through some damage, but pumping your other guys is what's going to get you there. That's pretty sweet as well, right? So
Yeah, and he's got that. His watermark is the modified Mardu watermark.
yeah,
So he's always a 5/5 when he attacks.
Yeah, that's true. He
Yes.
always attacks as a 5/5.
Yeah.
That's a good point.
I just like that he can be completely immune to sorcery speed removal if you need him to be.
Oh yeah, like the
Arcwing Dragon.
yeah, Arcwing Dragon. Thank you. Yeah, or Archwing.
I thought it
I
was.
think it's Archwing. It doesn't matter.
I thought it was just ARC without BH.
I don't know.
who knows?
Who knows? Moving on to the dragon that the teamer love, Atarka World Render, who looks super cool. 5 red green, 7 mana
Jesus.
for a 6/4. All right, flying, obviously. Trample, okay. Whenever a dragon you control attacks, it gains double strike until end of turn.
So this guy
Wait a minute.
deals 12 damage
He's
No,
got
he-
trample and double strike.
and double. Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
god.
That's really strong.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess 7 mana makes sense for that. I'm not worried about proccing this with other dragons. I just want to attack with this guy as a basically 12 trample damage.
Yeah, like this is. Do you have removal this turn?
Because if not, you're taking a ton of damage. That's pretty sweet. James, you want to take the
Dromoka.
Obzon's favorite dragon?
Dromoka the Eternal. Mocha. 3 green white for a 5/5 flying dragon.
5/5 for 5.
5/5
Sounds great.
Seems
Yep.
super good.
Sign me up.
When a dragon you control attacks, bolster 2.
Oh,
So if we haven't talked, bolster reads,
yeah.
choose a creature with the least toughness among creatures you control and put 2 +1/+1 counters on it.
That sticks around.
Yeah.
That's really good.
Yeah.
Sticks around. It means if this is your only creature, he becomes a 7/7. So that's always fun.
Wow.
But if you have this guy out and like a 4/4, well, that 4/4 becomes a 6/6 and forever. Not until the end of turn. You get those counters forever.
What I'm curious about, because bolster checks on resolution. So if you attack with multiple dragons, this will trigger a bunch of times, and then you put the first 2 counters on a creature, and that might change which one has the lowest toughness. So then you get to put it on a different creature, and then maybe a different creature. That's
Yeah.
really interesting. Yeah, because they were talking about that. The thing with bolster is if you're like, I cast this guy who has enters the battlefield bolster 2, and your opponent goes, all right, with that guy on the stack, I kill this creature.
Right.
Then it's like, okay, the ability resolves, and I put the counters on this other creature that's still alive now. So
Yeah.
you can't get like got on bolster. You're gonna like, as long as you have a creature, you will get the counters.
Yep.
Which is nice. That they don't do like, it's not like a you target and then they can kill it and then the counters fizzle.
Yep.
So I appreciate that. Cam, you want to read one?
Yeah. We have Ojutai, Soul of Winter. Okay, so he is watermarked with the modified Jeskai clan symbol. And for 5, 1 white, and 1 blue, you get a flying vigilant 5/6 dragon.
Okay.
Seems decent.
Vigilant 5/6 for 7. Yeah. All right. What's the
Okay.
ability here?
Whenever a dragon you control attacks, tap target non-land permanent an opponent controls. That permanent doesn't untap during its controller's next untap step.
That's very good.
I like that a lot.
So just
yeah.
tempo ruin because you can attack. still have them up to block. You've tapped down your opponent's biggest threat to get through. Your opponent's biggest threat does not untap, and you just grind.
That's sweet.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
I feel like at this point, it's actually my least favorite, but it's still super good.
I think I agree with you, but it's still sweet. Also, Ojutai looks baller.
Yeah, I really love the feathered.
The feathered wings.
Yeah.
And just the red accents, because it's Jeskai, the red accents to the art is really, really sweet. And then down in the basement is Sulgamar, the Drifting Death. And he's 6 mana, 4 blue-black, for a 3/7. That sounds like something that Dimir would do.
Yep.
Flying and hexproof.
Barf.
Interesting. So very hard to block because it's a 3/7, so you're never going to be able to trade with it unless you
And-
put 7
yeah.
flying power in front of it. And the other ability is whenever a dragon you control attacks. Oh, this is gross.
Yeah, this one's amazing.
Yeah.
Whenever a dragon you control attacks, creatures defending player controls get -1/-1 until end of turn.
Yeah, no, this guy is like, I think he's the best.
If you attack with 3 dragons, you can just like wipe them.
Pretty much kill everything, yeah.
That's crazy. Okay,
yeah,
I
that
like
card's
that
super
guy.
cool.
I'm pretty sure any of these dragons is going to be a defensible first pick in draft. So now here's the question, though, because we've talked. Every one of them has the ability that checks on other dragons. Do we have other dragons we can talk about?
There are definitely other dragons.
Because I want to see like how good these are actually going to be.
There is an implicit cycle at common.
Okay, what's up, Paul?
I was just saying that I kept imagining, like, I really want this guy and then just like a dragon whelp. Or just like the dragon hatchling or something like the crappiest dragon that is still technically a dragon and not a drake.
So we can talk about the
that just gets massively powerful because it's hanging out with its big buddy.
uncommon cycle of dragons.
Yep.
So there is the ward scale dragon in white. For 4 white, you get a 4/4 flying dragon. As long as ward scale dragon is attacking, defending player can't cast spells.
Oh, so no combat tricks for them.
So no combat tricks.
So if you want to do something, you have to do it in the beginning of combat step. As soon as you say, I'm allowed to start tapping my guys, you can't cast spells until combat's over.
yeah.
And don't forget, there's a period of time, it's less relevant here because it just means you can't cast spells, but there's a period of time where the creature is still attacking after combat damage has been dealt.
Correct.
So 4/4 flying for 6 with that ability, it's probably sweet, yeah.
Yeah.
But
seems
it's just as a reminder, a creature is only considered to be attacking during the attack step, right? Like if you attacked with the creature, if you attack with the creature, that creature isn't still attacking like during your second main phase. Or
No.
But there is a period of time.
It's still considered to be attacking during the block step and during the damage step.
Right. So, but during but
But
it
after combat
but it
damage.
isn't like still attacking.
No, after combat damage, it's no longer
it's
attacking.
just tapped
Yeah.
for whatever reason.
Man, it's gonna feel real bad to just get pounded up by that guy while you've got a deflecting palm in hand.
Oh no. Actually, deflecting palm you'd still be able to cast because you could you could cast it in
first main phase.
Yeah, and
'cause
because it's the
source.
next time that source
Right.
deals damage. Anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, they're all 4/4
They're
for 6 mana.
All 4/4 for 6.
All right. Well, the next one's the Mind Scour Dragon. Oh, is this going to be milling? It's going to be milling, isn't it? It's a 4/4 flyer for 4 blue. Whenever it deals combat damage to an opponent, target player puts the top 4 cards of his or her library into his or her graveyard. Oh, that's actually interesting. Whenever it deals damage to an opponent, target player mills 4.
Right, yeah. So you,
So you
can fill
could
your
target
bin if you
yourself.
want.
In a commander game, you could hit one person and mill somebody else.
Yep. Which is kind of neat.
That's neat. It's still, but then on the on the third hand, it is still a 4/4 for 6 flyer. So that's probably fine. In blue, can't really complain.
So the black one, Noxious Dragon. So 4/4 for 6, or 4/4 for 6 again.
Gouting miasma out of its mouth.
Yeah. When it dies, you may destroy target creature with converted mana cost 3 or less. So it has smother attached to it.
When it dies.
Yeah, when it dies, smother.
That's neat.
Yep. So one-time use, but
At least you get some sort of upside for presumably your biggest threat dying.
yep.
Cam?
Shockmaw Dragon, once again, 4/4 flyer for 6 mana. This time in red. Whenever Shockmaw Dragon deals combat damage to a player, it deals 1 damage to each creature that player controls.
I'm like so on this, but
Interesting, because it's in red, but it's best against the like Mardu.
yeah, like the
well,
hitting the
it
little
also-
tokens
token
and stuff
decks.
and the X1s.
It makes combat... Well, it doesn't make combat a bit tough, but it will clean up.
Yeah, well, I mean, it does make blocks a little interesting because now all of a sudden you have to factor in, assuming that this thing deals combat damage. Like if this thing gets in, then you need to think about your blocks because if they're taking just shy of or just shy of the 1 damage that needed to kill them, then this thing will finish them off.
I hope there's
so.
some good removal here. Mm-hmm. And then the green one is the Destructor Dragon. I like that. 4/4 flying for 4 green. When Destructor Dragon dies, destroy target non-creature permanent. Interesting.
Acidic slime.
Yeah, I think. Or like Beast Within or stuff like that. Interesting.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Yeah.
And-
I mean, these guys are all fine. Right?
And then finally, the last dragon that we have available to us today
Is the first of the commons?
is the first of the commons in red, the Lightning Shrieker. So for 4 and 1 single red, you get a 5/5 flying trample haste. That seems pretty good, right?
That seems too good.
That seems too good. And it is, because it says at the beginning of the end step, Lightning Shrieker's owner shuffles it into his or her library.
so it's a lava axe.
It's a lava axe.
Or a ball lightning.
But you get it back in your deck.
Yeah.
Right.
But yeah, you're basically just paying 5 to do 5 damage. And then it goes away. And then maybe you'll get it again later.
Yeah.
And again, it's another one of those, like, it's it flies, it tramples, so you hope you're going to push in some damage. It seems like a really good finisher card,
Yeah.
but it also just seems like a fine, like I will happily play this on turn 5 and just bash in.
Yeah.
I feel pretty confident
Well, I
that
mean, like-
my opponent isn't doing much to stop it. So
If you're in 3-color dragons, you can probably pick up a couple of these guys. And yeah, you can expect to see, depending on your density of them, a couple of times per game. Maybe. These games go long.
Yeah, sweet anti-decking yourself tech right there.
I mean, like,
Just
I
do it
enjoyed-
every turn.
I enjoyed playing with multiple Zeniths in Standard when they were available.
Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. Right. Valorous Stance. Destroy target creature with toughness 4 or greater. We talked about that. That's going to be important.
yep.
So,
Notably, that does not hit Silgumar. Oh, no. Toughness 4 or greater. Yeah, that
Well,
hits.
it doesn't-
That hits every dragon we've talked about.
except Silgamar, because he's hexproof.
Right.
Yeah.
Thank
So-
you. Good
My-
catch, Cam. That's the sort of mistake I would make on this thing.
My lesson is that we're suddenly taking the 3/3 Abzan guys that get reach when they have a counter, or give reach when they
Long shot squad.
Long
long
shot
shot
squad,
squad suddenly
yep.
just got a lot better.
Yep.
And you have one less pack to get them. I mean, the way that spoiler season like this usually works is they start with the biggest, flashiest cards, but the actual sort of like the meat and bread of the limited environment, like all the removal and stuff, you don't necessarily see right away. So I'll be interested to see how that fleshes out. But
Yeah.
I feel like there's some sweet stuff in here for constructed as well. There's certainly some sweet stuff in here for Commander.
Oh yeah. I mean, it's pretty clear that they are developing sets these days with Commander pretty high up on their list. Obviously, not anywhere near the top, but
No.
it
Well,
certainly comes into play.
Honestly,
a lot.
just that they've taken it into account when they're templating stuff, like
Just say-
opponent or opponents,
Yeah,
like
or players
Cards will
or-
say one or
Yeah.
the other, and I think that's really nice that they have that, because it doesn't in. I would say probably 95% of cases, it's never going to affect how the card plays in Standard, because that's always 1v1. But having the option printed on the card to have it do something different in Commander, I think is really sweet.
Yep.
Yeah. So far, I'm super happy with these spoilers.
Yeah.
It looks like a really fun, dynamic set.
Yeah, I'm excited. I was
I'm
afraid
very-
that like Dragonville would be really plodding and just like big and slow. And this looks like it's gonna be faster than that. It
Yeah.
doesn't look like we're not talking Zendikar speed here, but it looks like it's gonna be nice, which I'm pretty excited about.
Yeah, it's not quite Battlecruiser magic, but you're going to be swinging with big bodies and resolving big spells. So that's always fun.
All right, you guys want to talk about one more splashy card before we sign off here?
Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
What you got?
Alicia, who smiles at death.
Oh, yeah.
Who, when I first saw this card, all I could see was he who smelt it dealt it.
Oh,
So that's fun. But 2 and a red for a 3/2 first strike legendary creature human warrior.
3/2 first strike for 3.
Yeah.
Sounds sweet.
Whenever Alicia, who smiles at death, attacks, you may pay
Orzhov.
Yeah, Orzhov. If you do, return target creature card with power 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, tapped and attacking.
Oh, that's sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love this card. This card looks amazing.
That can hit a whole ton of stuff in the Mardu deck.
Yeah. Well, yeah, like Skull Hunter.
Yep.
Oh, gross.
Because he comes in tapped anyways, but he's attacking, so you hand hate.
Yeah.
And
You've got raid up.
And you've got raid.
do you have raid? Because whenever it attacks,
if you have attacked this turn.
I think that works.
I think it
Does that
works
work?
because you've already declared your
You've
attackers.
declared the attack, so then the raid triggers immediately.
Yeah.
That's gross.
So this is a card that sold me on going Mardu at the upcoming pre-release. Again, I went Mardu on the first go around, and I'm doing it again because of this card. So I hope I open it because it's sweet.
Oh man, yeah, she's awesome.
Yeah.
Greet death with sword in hand.
And then, like, constructed formats and standard, I guess you'd be playing, what, like Brain Maggot?
Yep.
Similar effects.
What is Goblin Rabblemaster also a 3/2?
No, it's
No.
Rabble Master like
Rabble Master's a 2/1, I think. Or
I thought it was like that's Brain Mag.
actually, Brain Maggot is probably absolutely not what you want to be doing with
Yeah.
this card. But, like,
Because it has to be comeback tapped and attacking.
yeah.
I'm just curious about the Rabblemaster.
Well, Rabble Master's too
2/2?
expensive.
It's a 2/2.
He's a 3-drop.
yeah.
No, it's power.
No, it's power.
Power.
Oh, power?
yeah, it's power.
Power?
Yeah, it's not
so
gonna.
they-
It's not, yeah.
It's not CMC 2 or less. It's power
Yeah.
2 or less.
Oh.
Well, we just broke Cam.
Right? So we can
What?
We can get a lot of really cool stuff.
Rabble Red can get its Rabblmasters back.
What?
Yeah.
What?
I mean,
Assuming you
the
can,
Rabblemaster itself won't trigger, so they'll probably just kill it. But the point being, there is a target that maybe could work.
Yeah. There's some cool stuff out there.
Is it just me, or just following the normal Magic title name templating? She should be Alicia Death Smiler.
No.
Is it Alicia or Alesha?
Alesha, I guess it would be.
I don't know.
Alesha? I don't know.
Alice Ha.
Alicia Death Smiler. No, I like who smiles at death. That's good. Yeah. So, I think that will do
Yeah.
for today. Hopefully you
Yeah.
enjoyed our spoiler card and the other spoiler cards that we talked about. And so, let us know what you think. And is this is going up just
This is going up the weekend before the pre-release.
right?
Next episode will go up on the Saturday, the weekend of.
Right.
So
Are we going to do another post pre-release episode?
So what we might do is going forward, the new schedule for Tap Concede, this will go up every Saturday. That is a plan, and we will stick to it. Except for next week,
Or we might
because what we'll probably do is do pre-release on Sunday because we
Right.
film on Saturday. So look for next week's episode to go up on the Sunday night, and it will be our pre-release rundown of our experiences and fun times and stuff like that.
And a reminder that Tap Concede, the podcast you are listening to or watching right now, much as with our show, The Crap Shots, or with our other podcast, or many things that we do, is now sponsored directly by you through our Patreon. So check out patreon.com/LoadingReadyRun. And if you're able to help out, then we'd very much appreciate it. So check that out. And thank you all for listening. And
Good luck at your pre-release.
Good luck at your
Yeah.
pre-release. We'll talk to you next time.